Let's talk about deep work for the real world, for real people like you. How you can focus in what I call 100% distracted world. Because your brain deserves better than all of this doom scrolling and half-finished to-do lists, right? Let's face it, we live in the age of distraction on demand. We've got notifications, we've got the emails, Slack, pings, Teams. It's so overwhelming. The siren song of YouTube, your phone lighting up just because it misses you. And before you know it, the deep, meaningful work you meant to do today gets traded in for a Costco-sized mental buffet of context switching, right? Sound familiar? I know sometimes we're multitasking and doing so many different things, and I will say I am guilty as charged. I always prided myself on being a multitasker, but I'm really bad at it because I end up doing a terrible job at everything else. So I've had to, through the years, teach myself how to focus, how to have discipline, create systems so that I could move the needle instead of getting in my own head and thinking I'm doing a great job multitasking, because it's not real. So also sometimes when you look at your to-do list, you think, wow, am I lazy? But you're not lazy. You're living in a world that's designed to hijack your attention, especially with our phones, right? We've got a gazillion apps, we've got things popping up on our laptop, and we get distracted so easily. But here's the truth. You can reclaim your focus, believe it or not. I wasn't sure if I could because I felt like my focus was at the end of my rope, and you don't need to move to a cabin in the middle of the woods to do it. Although sometimes that sounds so nice to just run away from it all, doesn't it? There are other options to not only focus on what you need to do and to accomplish more in less time. And I know it is even possible, and I didn't believe that. And I'm proof that it exists because you need to take the right steps and dig into the deep work and the systems in order to be able to move that needle. And it took me a long time to get there. So what is deep work and why should you even care about it? Coined by productivity, if I could get that out, productivity expert Cal Newport, deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's where your best ideas are born, your projects actually get finished, and your sense of purpose shows up, maybe with a latte. Research shows that it takes 23 minutes and 15 seconds on average to get back on track after a single interruption. And that came from the University of California, Irvine. So if you're checking your email every 10 minutes, you see the problem here, right? You're constantly in disarray. Because if it takes you 23 minutes every time that you switch tasks, you're never focusing at all. And I read this and I thought, holy smokes, like maybe that is my problem. And it totally was, because I'm multitasking, I'm doing all these different things. But every time you shift your focus, it takes 23 minutes to get back on track. So when you're checking emails, doing all of those things, you're not getting anywhere anytime soon. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news here, but sometimes we are creators of our own issues, and we need to just fix the way that we look at things. So meanwhile, a McKinsey report found that the knowledge workers, they get into these flow states, these deep focus states, they're 5 times more productive. 5 times. I will take that. I will take even 1 time more productive, because I was just really so bad from a focus standpoint. And the big question here is, the answer is so simple, right? So you think, oh, it's just deep work, it's scheduling your time. But why is it so hard to actually do it, right? Because we tell ourselves, oh, I'm gonna put 90 minutes on my calendar. Then it doesn't happen, right? So deep work is hard, and no, it's not just you. It happens to everybody. So we now touch our phones on an average of 2,617 times per day. And that comes from Discount Research. Our brains are swimming in dopamine loops, short hits of novelty that keep us stuck in a state of shallow focus. And those damn phones, right? I don't want to date myself, but remember the days before all of these gadgets? It's hard to even remember. I barely remember those days. I was really young then. And it's even harder to think of how did we live without them back then? But we did, right? And multitasking, like I mentioned, it's a myth. It's not real. Neuroscience tells us that we're not actually doing two things at once, but we're rapidly switching between tasks. So that's what's going on in our brain. And it's just draining our brain's energy, and it's increasing errors by, believe it or not, according to APA, up to 50%. So here you go, right? Statistics don't lie, the science doesn't lie. We are our worst enemies. So how do real people like you and I do deep work successfully? Because I get it. You've got a job, you've got meetings, you've got kids, you've got laundry, you've got a dog that needs a walk. You're not about to block off 6 hours a day to write a novel, right? So here's how to make deep work doable in a real world environment. You're gonna first want to start with just one deep work block. And I always recommend 90 minutes because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it takes like 23 minutes to shift focus, right? And for me, I found that to be really a reality because it takes me about 25, 30 minutes just to even get in flow. And you need about a good hour to really do work that's meaningful, right? So block out 90 minutes, and research shows that your brain can only sustain true deep focus for about 90 minutes at a time. So schedule one focus block during your peak energy windows, usually in the mid-morning for some people. For me, it's early morning. It might be late night for you, but put it on your calendar and schedule it right away. The second tip is use a distraction-free ritual. So this doesn't, it's not just productivity fluff. Even a simple pre-focus routine like clearing your desk, putting on your headphones, or writing your goal on a sticky note, it primes your brain for flow. And that came from BJ Fogg from Stanford. A third tip is silence the noise. I know that's harder to do than is actually possible sometimes, right? Especially when you have a family, you have a lot of people in your house, right? But put your phone on the do not disturb, or, tell those that might call you, hey, I'm gonna do some deep work. If you don't hear from me in 90 minutes, everything's cool, because people get nervous when they don't pick up their phone, right? So communicate. Put your phone on maybe a do not disturb, close unnecessary browser tabs, use tools like maybe Freedom, Cold Turkey, or Forest to block out distractions. Out of sight equals out of mind and deeper focus. So put a timer on, maybe get a timer that's not your phone, so you don't have your phone even in the room. Try those type of things, but they really do help. Number 4 is batch the shallow stuff. So email, admin, Slack. Set a window in your day for those things instead of letting them run the show. Your attention is a premium resource, so spend it wisely. Tip number 5 is don't wait for the mood to strike. Don't ever wait for the mood for anything. If there's something that you want, just do it, because you're never going to find the right time, the right mood, the right motivation. High performers don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. So does this sound familiar? Take a look at my last video where I talked deeply about systems and on many of the videos on this channel, but put systems in place for yourself. You will thank me for it. I know it. Because deep work is a habit, it's not a mood. So start with structure and the focus will follow. I promise. I'm living proof of it. So the bottom line here is focus is a superpower, but it's a trainable one. And it's something that you can actually do. So you don't have to be a monk or you don't have to be a machine to reclaim your attention. You just need to create a space for your mind to do what it was built to do. Think deeply, create freely, and finish the things that matter for you and your life. So this week, try blocking out just one deep work session. Protect it like it's the most important meeting, because it is. And watch what happens when your brain actually has time to think. Do you want more building discipline, systems, and focus in the world that seems to be allergic to all three? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. Your future self in your inbox will definitely thank you. And if there's something you'd like me to focus on, send me a DM or leave me a comment, because I would love to focus on some of the things that you would like to focus on that are important to you. So if you found this content helpful, please consider sharing, subscribing, and we will see you all on the next video.